Just before my time.
Catherine, of course, before your time.
Only, I
I
mean,
was only in my 20s back in 50 years ago, so
well, I'm 37, so it's
yeah,
not
you weren't even a sparkle in your
way.
mother's eye at that
Okay,
point.
it's way. Yeah.
How you been?
Great.
What are you
Thanks
drinking?
for asking.
Mm,
I went to Reverb this morning and
Yeah.
got a iced matcha.
Oh, and
Yeah,
so that's what's putting the smile on your face, huh?
I do like a good matcha.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm not experienced at matches, so
It's because
uh,
you're not in your 30s. It's what the
yeah.
30-year-olds
Oh, okay.
drink.
Let's see,
Yes.
and I don't drink what the 70-year-olds drink either because
What
I
are they
just drink
drinking?
water mostly.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like prune juice, or something like that. You're like, oh, I drink that.
No, but I actually every morning I do have a cranberry pomegranate that has only 5 calories.
How does
The
that
pom
work?
the cranberry is good for avoiding getting urinary tract infections. The pomegranate is good because it is helpful in a lot of different areas. Of course, one being your immune system, but the
Because you're
other
not
is
drinking water. I see.
yeah.
It's all
And
coming
then I
together
also
now.
put lemon juice in that. So I start with some reconstituted lemon
Oh,
juice in
okay.
it for my kidneys because I have a kidney disease and I
Oh, I
tend
didn't
to
know
have
that.
yeah I tend to have kidney stones. And the way you
Wow.
eliminate those is by drinking lemon juice every day because the lemon juice and the material that makes your stones,
Oh,
when you
eats it.
combine them, it makes a real nice chemical that just you excrete.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
everyone knows about your kidney stones.
Yeah, well, they're very, very painful. They're very, very painful. I'm
Wow.
telling you. I at one point I was talking to a woman about kidney stones. She goes, "Oh, I've had kidney stones too before," and so I said, "Okay, so answer the question: which is worse, birth or kidney stones?" She goes, "Kidney stones."
Really?
Yeah, she said kidney stones are
Wow.
much worse.
Well, I hope everyone's going to have a great lunch now that you've heard about Terry's kidney
Oh, just
stones.
skip lunch.
Enjoy your lemon
Skip,
juice.
Chris. Skip lunch after that conversation. Okay, just skip it. Yeah. Word three.
Yes, sir.
There's some interesting things going on in the city of Bakersfield. I mean, can you believe that they really want to signify us as a sanctuary city?
No, I can't. Well, actually, yes, I can because, election season is coming up. And so obviously, we would want to make sure everyone knows how compassionate we are. So maybe it's not surprising, but it is a great distraction from some of the other things that are going on.
As much as they were interested in getting this to the Legend Lit committee ASAP and maybe doing a special meeting, I could have sworn I read something where they're not even going to consider it now in the Legend Lit until February.
No
Like
way.
they're
I haven't
like
seen that yet.
they're kicking it down down the road. Wait a minute, we can't do this before the election. We got to do it after the election.
Wow.
At least I'm pretty sure that when I saw that it was from a reliable source.
I'm curious then what kind of posturing will go on at this next city
Well,
council
you got
meeting Wednesday,
Manpreet Cure is up for reelection.
right?
Bob Smith is up for
Right?
reelection. They're two of the people that we know where she stands on it. We didn't get any information from Bob Smith where he stands on sanctuary cities, and he's not going to come on my program and
Yeah.
be able to ask that question. But I think somebody's got to get in front of him from the news media and ask him where he stands on sanctuary city. I haven't
Yeah,
seen it
that
at
would
this
be
point.
really interesting
Yeah,
to know.
because I would presume you're against it.
Yes, I think that we should follow the law and that we cannot pick out who gets to follow and who doesn't is really the ground of it.
Yeah. Well, why do you think they're bringing this up at this particular point?
For the reasons I said, I think it's a very convenient timing. I mean, we're kind of behind the trend. This whole thing was kind of trending years ago, but that's okay that we're behind
hmm
trends. But yeah, if people are going for reelection and trying to get into other offices, so
That's kind of how I read it. Was you got Andre Gonzalez who's running for assembly.
yeah,
He's got the inside track on that simply because of the history of who's had that seat before, and it's always been a Democrat. I know Saul Ayon is got an uphill battle. I mean, but I presume he's going to give it everything he's got to try and
well,
get that
he's
position.
tenacious.
Yeah, he
I think
is.
if there was anyone who was going to just fight and run until they're ragged, it's so.
I think there's going to be a lot of dollars spent on that particular assembly race.
Yeah.
Although, the Democrats don't have to have that seat because they've got a supermajority, and if that seat falls to a Republican, it's not something they want, but it's something they can quote live with.
Oh, for sure.
But that's going to be an interesting one, no doubt about it. But your race is going to be an interesting one too. I think it comes down to just two people in my mind. With looking to see who at this point is running, that'll be you and Cassie Biddle.
Yeah.
You guys have pretty different backgrounds, and I know that you're out there doing a lot already to try and make sure that people know who Catherine Howling is.
Yeah. Well, it's hard when you don't come from this political realm. People just
Hmm.
don't know who you are because you're not out there, and I'm not from the political realm. I'm just a mom.
What sort of input have you gotten from the political realm?
It's not your turn. I
Yeah,
mean, those are I mean, that's the exact phrase. It's not your turn. If you want to come in to the organization and help someone else run and get elected,
and
then we
and
can,
prove yourself.
right. Yeah. Prove
Yeah,
yourself. Then you can get in. And well, that would defeat the point. I don't want to be part of.
my wife Paula and I were talking about this morning. You know, somebody else who kind of was not part of the political realm that has been real successful and got elected.
Was he here right before me?
No,
Who was it?
Donald Trump.
Oh, I was
I mean, when
thinking
you,
too small.
yeah, no, it's like because when he ran, you had Jeb Bush who was running against. You had all
Yeah.
these politicians running against him. And we had been through the 8 years of George W. Bush. We've been through the years of Clinton,
Yeah.
and I think at that point it was a question of, okay, so are we going to go with the prescribed another politician or
Right.
the brother of a president already, and make a name for ourselves? Because, oh, look, we've not only had the dad, but now we've had the two brothers. Or are we going to go in a different direction? And obviously, with the popularity of Donald Trump, surprised everybody that he would take out 13 other candidates that all had political quote backgrounds.
Yeah.
He took them all out. But the question is, how do you take them out? He took them out by simply being honest about what he saw as their problems and how he was going to try and solve things.
Yeah.
And I've listened to you several times now give presentations to different groups, and you seem to be somebody who is well aware of what's going on with the city and the problems that exist.
I am. I'm definitely becoming more and more aware every day. We've been going at this for 6 months, just digging and digging and digging and trying to find more and more information and finding that things that should exist, like the city's financials are not there. And so there's a lot that I would love to know, but I can't find. And a lot of questions that I'd like to ask, but I won't get those answers until I'm elected. And so I think that the benefit that I bring is that my background is in looking at financials. I
Hmm.
have no horse in this race as far as padding a resume or climbing to some other, office or whatever.
You
I
don't have
really
anything else you want to do than
no,
other
I
be a
I
city
honestly
council
just want
person?
to see our books be transparent, get ourselves in a place that we're financially disciplined, and then disappear into the night. That would be my ideal. I haven't done some of my hobbies since January. I would love to get back to the hobbies, but
No, I want you to keep out of the hobbies. I know what those hobbies are. Come on now,
let's just get our finances in order.
that'd
Like
be
that's it.
nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah. It would be nice if I could see them, but they
Well,
aren't
what
published.
what do you view as the responsibilities of city council?
Well, I think we have three core responsibilities: safety, infrastructure, financial management.
Hmm.
That's it. That's really, those are the main things that we are in charge of. When we start dipping outside of those responsibilities with money that has not even covered our core responsibilities, what are we doing?
Hmm.
What are we doing? We have exhausted our funding. I mean, just this last city council meeting, everyone is distracted by Sanctuary City. Meanwhile, we're passing an interfund loan policy to, with the potential of buying the Bank of America building. And this is not me stretching.
Uh-huh.
This is in the language. While everyone was sleeping, here's what we're passing. we're passing an interfund loan policy that allows us to borrow from other funds to purchase, acquire property, whatever the thing is. It's just to streamline it and make it easy.
Well, it's funny because when Alan Tandy was the city manager, he didn't ask for, he didn't ask for
Right.
the ability to do that. He just went ahead and did it. You know, it's highly illegal for what he was doing and transferring money from one account, one approval, and using it for another. And then at the end of it, there wasn't enough money to do that, so they had to go elsewhere in order to refund the money that was taken without ever asking the city council. I mean, at least they asked, but that's pretty ridiculous. City council, based on what you're saying and our financial position, for them to approve it.
Well, and it's interesting timing. Now that everything has been approved for the sewer and the rates have gone up as of this month, July was the first month that you would see the increase on
But
those.
didn't the county sue it? Sue the city on that?
You know what? That whole thing is a little bit weird because the county sued the city for it. I mean, within a week or two of raising their rates as well, higher than ours, something weird is going on there. And I haven't had time to dig and get to the bottom of it, but just I think there's probably some hypocrisy going on both
Hmm.
sides. But I don't love the idea of let's go ahead and put this issue on the taxpayer. We'll bring in a bunch of cash, and then while no one's looking, we'll go ahead and do an interfund loan policy to really streamline that process because we have this big shiny building that we'd love downtown.
Well, speaking of financials that are not available, how far back did you say?
Well, initially it was the 23-24 fiscal year. So when I first started looking, 23-24 fiscal year was not published.
Hmm.
Now,
It's supposed to be published within what, a couple
so
months?
yeah, you would expect a couple months from the end
Right.
of the fiscal year closing. So there was some badgering that went on. That got published. We're still waiting on 24-25. 25-26 is just closed last month.
Hmm.
But in the private sector, you would expect those to be out within 3 months.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Well, because you're going to have to file taxes on it at the end of the
well, and
year anyway.
an
So,
audit needs to be done.
yeah.
So you could say, well, maybe they had that audit done, they just didn't publish it. No, you can see the dates on the audits.
Yeah.
You can see that the audit for 23-24 was done, I think, in
Of this year.
March or April of this year.
Yeah. Um, have you ever heard of the Multimodal Transportation and Safety Ad Hoc Committee?
Yes. But don't ask me to tell you all about it.
No, the people who are listening the first hour know all about it at this point now.
Ooh, I'll have
Also,
to. Are your shows finally getting recorded so I
I
can
don't
go
know,
back and read?
Chris, are we? What's holding that up? Well, okay, okay. Well, if we can't do it, I got somebody that I know that will do it for us. So I may have to do it that way. But we'll get that to you because
Yeah, that'd be great.
it's eye opening because the people who are on this multimodal transportation and safety ad hoc committee are Bob Smith, owner of
Mhm.
Bakersfield,
One mode.
Marpreet Kaur, who is a city planner
Hmm.
who might have some bias towards how the city is supposed to be put together because she references how wonderful Lancaster is. You know, she can give you all these references of all these cities that she studied while she was going through the schooling, and all the cities that she studied are ones that adopted very, very liberal policies. And then Eric Arias.
Hmm.
Where's the diversity of thought on that committee? First of all, Bob Smith shouldn't be on the committee. He has a conflict of interest because he's putting in all these bike lanes, and he owns Bike Bakersfield.
I don't even get me started with conflicts of interest.
Well, why
You know.
not? Because it looks like it might be an interesting conversation at some point.
Well, I mean, check out the one of the few items that was pulled from the agenda this last city council meeting was I think 4.4 to go to hiring two people as what did they call them? Intervention specialists. They're basically going to go in after there's been some sort of violent gang related event,
Hmm.
contact the people involved to try and thwart retaliation. So Basher Tash brought it up. How much are we going to be paying these people? I wish he had said, what is our liability going to be cost?
Sure,
Going to
sure.
cost us on this? What
That's
is
the
the
first thing
workers'
I think.
comp? Do
Yeah.
we have, these are pretty dangerous situations. They're also asking for people who have lived experience, which totally makes sense. But then what is that going to do for what we're paying for their driver's insurance?
But the
I just want
question
to know
also would
all
be
of those
who's going to
costs.
oversee the program?
Well, and you know what? That was the interesting thing is that the city counts or the city manager went ahead and said, well, 1.1 or 2 million of this 4.4 is going to go to garden pathways. Now that makes sense because they already have a program like this going.
Hmm.
So it makes sense that, they would want to manage that. The issue I have is that the mayor is still sitting CEO of garden pathways. To me, that's a clear conflict of interest.
Right.
Now, is it legal? Yes, because she's not a voting member of the city council. Is it ethical? I really don't think so.
Right. Right. Well, people used to have the same argument with Harvey Hall, who got the
Right.
exclusive rights to all of the ambulance services in I think the whole county did it. I know at least the city, but the
Yeah.
whole county. And he said he's the sitting mayor, and people had, a real problem with that.
Right.
I think that at the point where they were trying to get, one provider, that somebody should have stood up and said, but that's against capitalism. Everybody should be able to have their own ambulance service if they want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I see that now, and quite frankly, I was very good friends with Harvey Hall, but that was I personally had misgivings about the Hall ambulance having that. I know he did a great job of serving people, but you still have to have that competition.
Yeah. And I just think, if we're only going to be ethical in the way that the law requires,
Hmm.
we're just asking for trouble. And we have a sickness going on in our county with people sitting on, you know,
Of something like this,
tens
the model
of
transportation
boards
safety
of
hawk
yeah.
ad hoc
They're
committee.
sitting on so many boards and there should be a time limit on the amount of however long you're gonna sit on a nonprofit board, how many boards you can sit on.
The
Can you also
The
sit in a
public's
government
unaware
seat?
of this kind of shuffling of different people into these different seats, though. They don't realize
Right.
when you st I first learned about it when I got involved with the, Downtown Business Association, 'cause, saw people on that board who were on this board, who were on that board, and it's like, "Wait a minute, there's no diversity.
Yeah.
We're not getting different thought, we're getting the same people making the same decisions for all these different boards," and I just don't agree with that. And unfortunately, when you make noise like that, your voice gets silenced. The reason I was asking you about the multimodal transportation safety ad hoc committee, the last time they had a meeting was September of 2024. At least that's what it looks like, because
Mhm.
when you go onto their website, there's nothing for 2025. There's nothing so far for 2026, but you know that they've got a meeting on the 18th of August. It's like,
Oh, really?
so I'm going to go next Wednesday and ask them, excuse me, what's going on with this? And beyond that, what would Bob Smith, who owns Bakersfield, be doing on this committee? If anything, he's the last person who should be on this committee, because he has a vested interest in making sure that there's all these bike lanes, which are
Yeah.
exactly what's happening.
Yeah, that has been the most shocking thing I've discovered as I've entered into this process is the amount of conflicts of interest that are legal, but completely unconscionable.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt about it. So you're out there working pretty hard. You're going to be out there this weekend,
Oh, we're out
days a
several
week,
days a
a
week.
week.
Yeah. In fact, I just discovered yesterday that my shoe is cracked. My sole is cracked.
Um,
Check that out.
yeah, I was told the same thing. When you're going to run for something in Bakersfield and you're going to go hit all the precincts and knock on as many doors as possible, make sure you've got a backup pair of shoes, because
Yeah.
you're gonna need them.
But it's been a gift.
Isn't it been fun?
Oh, I cannot tell you how much I have enjoyed meeting these constituents.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How do people get a hold of you? You got a website?
Yeah, I got a website, catherinehalling.com. Soon you'll be able to just go to bakersfieldward3.com and you'll be able to find it, but it's not quite connected yet. You can also just call me.
Yeah.
Yeah. 858-7216. That is my personal cell phone number. I would love to hear from you. You can find me on Facebook. I'm posting videos pretty frequently of the things that I'm discovering. You can discover them along with me, but give me a like and a follow. You can also find me on YouTube at Catherine for Counsel.
Perfect. Catherine, thanks for stopping by today.
Pleasure.
All right. We're going to take a last break and get into another one bites the dust.